because all the wood I get is collected from, just like driftwood. It's collected off of beaches, off the Bay of Fundy.
Hi, my name is Delaney. I'm an interdisciplinary artist working out of Albert County, and right now I'm in the White Box Residency here at Gallery Saint. So my intentions were to make driftwood puppets, dolls type things. I've already been making a fair amount of those, and I really enjoyed making them, but I kind of just like didn't have the time or just kind of the space to be doing everything that I wanted to do. So I was like, I had this idea that I was gonna like incorporate driftwood puppets with rug hooking and be very like multidisciplinary and kind of use a lot of like craft-based mediums. And I'm still kind of doing that. I think when I got to the residency, I realized how large the space was, and I was like, oh, this is a really good opportunity to like start kind of like making big work again. Because when I was studying and I had a lot larger space, I would make really large work, and I would try to make really large work, or if I had like a show or something like that where I had the space to draw on the walls or do large things, I kind of gravitated towards that. Clearly, like being in a pandemic and then, you know, not being in school anymore, I didn't have those resources, so I kind of have taken, not for granted, but I've taken, you know, the opportunity to work large again. And behind me there's some kind of, I don't know, large images that I'm working on, kind of making almost like a quilt, tapestry that I'll do an installation with, along with the driftwood puppets. I'm still making those, but I was like, we're gonna do a little bit of everything. But having a space that you come into that's just completely blank, that you can kind of just like lay all your stuff out. I've clearly kind of made the space my own. You know, it's really, you don't get that before. So it's super, super nice to kind of be able to have that. And it really changed the way that I wanted to work during this residency. I realized like I can kind of, you know, I can whittle kind of anywhere, whereas I can't really like lay out all my big drawings and kind of get to look at them without any other influences or any other kind of distractions. So, but having a residency that's in a space that's like a very traditional kind of gallery space, it's like kind of best of both worlds, because you can kind of make it a workspace and it'd be very functional in that sense, but also like once you're finished work, or if you want to like see it installed, you have it right behind you to install it. So that's really cool. I think right now in my practice, I'm very interested in the idea of being a queer person in a rural space where, you know, there's not a large queer community in these spaces, and finding kind of visibility in that sense can be difficult. So I think for me, I'm really interested in kind of that idea, and I think, you know, I make a lot of puppets. That's kind of my main medium, is figuring out ways to kind of manipulate materials into puppets. So that's been a really kind of nice aid in my theme and kind of following that research a bit more. It's almost like I see my puppets almost as companions. So it's kind of like building community within these puppets. You're probably just kind of talking to yourself. That's kind of like this almost like kind of the humor in my work, because my work is kind of odd and eccentric or strange visually. So I think it's kind of, there's some shots of me like talking to my puppet, and it's in my thought process when I'm performing, it's like, this is a person to me, this is a figure, this is something that's like a companion, but the viewer is really just seeing me kind of talk to myself. So that's kind of something that I've played with a lot, with backing of that idea of being queer in a rural space. Hi! Yeah, anyway, this is Lemon Drop. I do a lot of work with her.